The year is 1368. In our world, rebel armies marched on Kublai, modern Beijing, driving out the Mongols. The Ming Dynasty rose, promising to restore Han Chinese rule, Confucian order, and native pride. But in this alternate timeline, the rebellion fails. The Mongols rally, their horsemen sweeping south with renewed fury. The Yuan Dynasty does not collapse. It endures century after century, its banners of falcons and wolves flying over the forbidden city. The immediate changes are immense. Instead of a Ming restoration, Confucian scholars are forced to remain under Mongol oversight. The examination system is reshaped, rewarding not just Confucian texts but Mongol-approved law, steppe customs, and Buddhist thought. The Yuan Dynasty, once seen as outsiders, dig deeper roots. Intermarriage increases between Mongol elites and Chinese nobility. By the 15th century, a hybrid aristocracy dominates, claiming both the legacy of Genghis Khan and the mandate of heaven. Zoom into lives. A Mongol noble in Kublai, once torn between steppe and city, now raises children fluent in both Chinese poetry and Mongol warfare. A Chinese farmer in the Yangtze Delta, weary of taxes, continues to resent foreign rulers but survives under their order. A Tibetan monk, welcomed into court, finds his Buddhist teachings spread even wider, supported by Yuan patronage. A Persian merchant, traveling the Silk Road, discovers trade flourishing under Mongol stability, his caravan secure from bandits. Culturally, China looks different. In our world, the Ming exalted Confucian orthodoxy and isolation. Here, the Yuan keep China cosmopolitan. Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity remain tolerated at court. Art fuses Chinese brushwork with Central Asian motifs. Architecture reflects Mongol openness, domes beside pagodas, yurts alongside palaces. Mandarin develops with Mongol and Persian loanwords, reflecting a multi-ethnic empire. Instead of turning inward, China remains a crossroads. Economically, the Silk Road thrives. The Yuan Dynasty, with Qin ruling across Central Asia, keeps caravans flowing. Marco Polo's tales of wonder do not fade into nostalgia, they remain daily reality. Spices, silks, gunpowder, and porcelain move west in steady streams, while silver and horses flow east. The Indian Ocean, too, feels Mongol presence as Yuan fleets patrol coasts from Canton to Malacca. Instead of withdrawing like the Ming, the Yuan embrace maritime trade, forging a true global empire. Zoom again to individuals. An Arab trader in Guangzhou, in our world limited by Ming restrictions, here builds a thriving community under Yuan tolerance. A Mongol cavalry officer, once stationed in the north, now sails with fleets to Java, bewildered but loyal. A Chinese shipwright, instead of watching his knowledge wither under Ming bands, builds vast junks for Mongol admirals, his craft admired across oceans. A Venetian sailor, hearing of endless riches, joins Yuan expeditions, spreading tales of Asia's openness. Globally, the consequences ripple outward. The Ming Dynasty's voyages under Zheng He, spectacular but brief, never happen. Instead, Yuan maritime expansion is continuous, reaching Africa and Arabia earlier and with stronger intent. Chinese-Mongol fleets establish bases in East Africa, securing trade. Europe, still crawling out of the Middle Ages, hears not distant rumors but feels direct pressure. The Yuan Navy patrolling the Indian Ocean, Yuan envoys in Cairo, Yuan merchants in Venice, the balance of power tilts. By the 16th century, when Europeans begin their age of exploration, the Yuan Empire is already a naval power. Portuguese caravels approaching Asia find not fractured states but a centralized Yuan navy. Trade concessions flow only under Mongol terms. The Portuguese and Spanish cannot dominate the seas, they adapt as junior partners. The Dutch and English, centuries later, face even steeper odds. Colonization of Asia stalls. The Americas may still fall to Europe, but Asia remains firmly Yuan. Religion transforms as well. In our world, the Ming emphasized Confucian orthodoxy, limiting foreign religions. Here, Mongol tolerance remains policy. Islam spreads deeper into China with mosques thriving in Xi'an and Beijing. Christianity, introduced by Nestorians and later Jesuits, gains stronger footholds earlier, even mingling with Buddhism in syncretic ways. China becomes not insular but pluralistic, its empire a patchwork of faiths under Mongol rule. Zoom once more 2 lives. A Muslim family in Xi'an, instead of marginal survival, thrives opally, their mosque standing proud. A Buddhist monk in Tibet enjoys imperial patronage, his teachings spreading east. A Nestorian Christian in Beijing, once forgotten, now trains his son to serve as translator for Yuan envoys. A Confucian scholar, humiliated by Mongol dominance, preserves tradition quietly in his home, teaching students in secret. The Renaissance in Europe shifts. In our world, Greek texts flowed back through Byzantium and the Islamic world. Here, Mongol-ruled China continues exchanging knowledge directly. Gunpowder, printing, and compass technologies reach Europe earlier and in fuller forms. The Renaissance sparks sooner, its fire brighter, fueled by Yuan openness. But Europe does not rise unchecked, it rises in tension with a living Mongol empire. The Industrial Revolution is delayed. In our history, Europe's dominance grew partly because Asia withdrew. But in this timeline, Asia never retreats. The Yuan Empire, with its vast resources, absorbs and adapts technologies rapidly. Coal mines in Shaanxi, textile workshops in Jiangnan, steel forges in Persia, all part of one imperial economy. Factories sprout not first in Manchester but in Beijing, Samarkand, and Kashgar. By 1800, the world's first industrial power may be Mongol China. By the 19th century, colonization flips. In our world, Britain forced open China with Opium Wars. Here, no such humiliation occurs. The Yuan Navy, industrialized, crushes European fleets. Instead of the century of humiliation, the 1800s become the century of domination, China projecting power into Southeast Asia, Africa, and even the Pacific. American colonies, just freed from Britain, find themselves trading on Yuan terms. Zoom one last time into lives. A British merchant in 1820, instead of bullying China, waits humbly in Canton for Yuan approval. An African chief in Zanzibar, instead of dealing with Portuguese, negotiates with Mongol-Chinese admirals, his ivory ships sailing east. An Indian weaver in Gujarat, instead of suffering under British East India Company, sells cloth directly to Yuan officials, his wages steady. A Mongol-Chinese child in 1850, studying mathematics in Beijing, dreams of joining imperial service not only in Asia but across oceans. Would this world be better? For China, certainly no Ming retreat, no Qing subjugation, no humiliation under Western powers. For the Mongols, it means transformation, from conquerors of horses to rulers of ships and factories, adapting their empire into modernity. For Europe, far worse, no easy colonization, no dominance of global trade. For the world, perhaps more balanced and Asia-centered modernity, pluralistic, diverse, and powerful. The Yuan Dynasty fell in our world, remembered as foreign rulers who could not hold China. But had they endured, they might have built not just a dynasty, but a global empire stretching into the modern age. An eternal Yuan could have made the Mongols not a memory of the past, but the masters of the present. So, what do you think? Would a lasting Yuan dynasty have brought stability and progress or crushed diversity under endless empire? Drop your thoughts below and subscribe to Sheriff Reactions. Hit the bell for daily flips where we explore not just what happened but what might have been.